So my name is Chase. Uh, it's not really short enough to have a nickname, so I never really had a nickname growing up. My parents and family called me Chaser, but nobody else really does that. So just Chase is fine. But where I'm from is St. Helens, Oregon, which is not the mountain, and it's like right at the corner of uh, Oregon, kind of like towards the top left. If you were to look at it on a map, we're really close to the ocean, and we're like 40 minutes away from Portland, and it's like 7 hours away from Eastern if you drive from here to there. So it's kind of a trip when I'm moving in and out, but it's fine other than that. My parents are both from the state of Washington. My dad grew up in Deer Park, which is like an hour away from Spokane, kind of more rural area. Uh, and he went to Eastern just because it was closer and cheaper. And my mom grew up in Prescott, Washington, which is close to Walla Walla, but it's again like kind of a rural area and known for its farming. They both came to Eastern, which is kind of why I'm here. I'm just kind of doing what they do. Why I'm taking this class is because I needed it for a prereq, and my geology class was filled up, so I couldn't get into it. But it's also important to learn about race and culture. So kind of a like a 50-50 on that. And why I'm taking it online is because I didn't want to like take an actual class on it and have to go to it. Just online would be quicker and easier and more time savvy, I guess. My race is white or Caucasian, I guess. That's about it. I know a bunch of my ancestors came from Germany and all over Europe, so I don't really have a lot of mixed anything in my genes. I've never taken like a DNA test, so I don't really know for sure, but I know a lot of them come from Germany. How do I know it's my race? Is because just like we have a bunch of documents and passports from relatives that have come over, so we just kind of have a rough estimate of where we came from. When I first learned about my race was in probably grade school when we were doing history, and it was kind of like a PG version of it. So it kind of made Christopher Columbus look like this great guy, conquering America and stuff. And then we got into grade school and kind of learned a little bit more about it and realized how bad of a person he was and kind of how white people were not very respectful back then and just kind of took everything that they wanted, and that's pretty messed up. So that's kind of the only thing that I really learned about my race. The first thing I learned about other races is just kind of all the really horrible and awful things that white people did to them, like the natives, how we kind of conquered their land and kicked them out, and were just really unfair to them, and how we took slaves from Africa and brought them to the U.S. and just kind of like made a bunch of fools of ourselves, basically, because of how awful it is. And so that's kind of it. And I was in like 6th grade, 7th grade when we really started learning about slavery and what we did to the natives and stuff like that. How did I learn, or what were the first thing I learned about other races? It was history class, just kind of going through the books. And it was kind of messed up because they would only really touch on the terrible things that white people did. They didn't really take responsibility for it, which I guess is kind of where the term winners write the history books, because there's not a lot of history books from their point of view of all of it. So and that's kind of ignorant how it's kind of all written like that, and how history books are, a lot of them just kind of glorify white people and barely touch on the awful things we did. But if there was anything unique to my race that doesn't apply to other racial or ethnic groups, is definitely all the carnage and the awful things that we did. There's not a single other race that has done the amount of damage that we have to other countries or other cultures. So it's unfortunate that that's the one unique thing about my race, but it's just kind of how it is. And then, do people ever expect anything because of me, because of my race or ethnic group membership? No, not really. People expect, they don't really expect anything, I guess, or that I've never really thought about that. I don't really have first-hand experience with it, so I wouldn't know. Have I ever been discriminated against because of my race? No, at least I don't think so. Just kind of, I've never had a scenario where I have been discriminated against, which I guess is good, but I know a lot of other races do, which is unfortunate. And have I ever gotten a pass or perk because of my race? I guess I have, because just growing up white is, uh, you know, probably a lot easier than what a lot of other races have to go through, which is again unfortunate, not very fair. But I would say that's kind of the major pass. I haven't had like a set scenario where I've been given a clear pass because of my skin color or my race. But what is the best thing about my race is we're definitely becoming a lot more aware of what we have done and how to progress and move forward and heal, I guess, with other races because of what we've done, and how to accept it and be responsible for our actions, even though we personally didn't do it. It was a lot more of our ancestors and stuff. The worst thing about our race is definitely all the stuff that comes with it, like how we were awful to cultures and other races, and how we kind of messed up the whole world and tried to tear everybody apart and stuff, which is not okay. But yeah, so that's about it.